Hey guys, so this is going to be another one of my experiments, and I'm going to try the whole paint by colors thing again. But hopefully this time it's going to go a little bit faster because I'm going to use, not going to use paint, that would have to be using eyeshadow. I guess I could use markers though too, but I figured this would be like really, I don't know, we'll see. It's kind of a illustrator's inside trick of the trade to use eyeshadow as a coloring tool method for makeup on the face or soft fabrics or shadows and things like that. So it's one of like the best things you can find is one of these multiple color things. So let's see. Yeah, so I'm just gonna actually, instead of shuffling them a ton, I'm going to just get them in one order and just pull one after another. So let me shuffle really quick. So in a way it's kind of cool because then the painting itself tells a little bit of a story based on the cards that come up. There's kind of a built-in story, conversation colors, and the meanings and all that behind the cards. The Empress is on the bottom. So, maybe I'll go from bottom up this time, so this doesn't really have to be a surprise. So, start with the Empress. It's a good place to start. I'm going to have to... It's going to be like a doodle, I guess. I think like marker testing is really cool. You end up with all these different just like squiggles and lines and let's see. And do. So the Empress is number 3 in the major arcana. It's a lot of creative energy and creative energy, 3 people maybe, 3 things, 3 parts coming together. It's maybe motherhood or just being very creative. I don't know how to explain. Sometimes I feel like when I pick up the cards, I feel like I just kind of have this like base understanding of what they mean, and it kind of just all hits me in my head. And when I have to actually explain it to people, I'm like, like a creative person. But it's also giving birth to something creatively speaking. It is, this is the Magician. This is the I am energy. It's using all your tools of the trade, things like that. So kind of more similar colors, more dark blue. Actually, put this up here so I have a little more room. And maybe I'll do something else different too. Too much stuff. With the what's it called? Amethyst kind of thing, the pendulum. do also have paint pens. Maybe I can use that too. I'm gonna find the best way to do this because it's, you wanna try to make this go faster, but maybe on my own I could do my own sort of like take my time. It's more fun to sort of do it. I'm just putting these on randomly. I feel like very Cy Twombly, one of my favorite artists. The only thing with like abstract kind of things is you have to, be okay with it being abstract and not have some sort of like background, reason for it, placements and things like that. So that's why I love like the end results of just like scrap paper with marker testing or render practice for when you're doing illustration, because it ends up looking really cool. Actually, I do have pencils too. I have taking a bath? Yeah. Just throwing down lines. So the Magician, it's your mind, it's Gemini, it's talking, it's it's using all the different things that you have in your toolbox. Kind of like I am right now. So the next card is the Chariot. We have like a very much a major arcana theme going here. He looks like he has some sort of like, he's coming out of a vortex. A solar, like, or lunar maybe, vortex. Yeah, that would be pretty, I was thinking about this earlier, like the, it really is kind of hard to like talk and do this at the same time. But the World card that's been popping out a lot recently, that being, I saw something, maybe, I don't remember where I saw it, but the two different poles, and how some have theorized that you can go like straight through and there's cities underground and things like that. Maybe that's some sort of wormhole, Because I heard that, I guess it's a while ago, but there's a huge in Antarctica hole. It's on a no-fly zone, and it's about the width of like 3 planes, so you can easily like fly into it. And someone said that they did, and saw all these things down there, or I guess they weren't allowed to talk about it. But that would be, I wonder if like, kind of like a inverse, like by going so far in to the center, you almost, kind of like a donut, so, like, trying to do so many things at one time right now. But I was kind of thinking about that in another way as well, like when you really search within yourself for answers and you kind of maybe even take like a hiatus, or you go in isolation, like I kind of did for a few years, like not totally isolation, but it was kind of half my doing, half just the way things worked out. But um, you almost like it's easy to see how everything sort of applies to you because you kind of like lose contact a little bit with the outside world. And in a way, it's like, it's good to like recapture what it is that sparks your attention, to not be influenced by, because we are so easily influenced by trends, by social media, all of these things, like to just, and I didn't cut myself off totally. I feel like that would be crazy, but it was kind of enlightening to see how when you are a little bit free from the influence of the outside world, you can, you really get to know yourself, I guess, what I'm trying to say. And the more you get to know yourself, the more you start to see how everything relates to you, but then like almost conversely, like how everything you do relates to everyone else. So the more you go into yourself, the more you become one with everything, if that makes sense. So kind of like that donut going into the North Pole down, like straight down. Maybe there's some sort of polar vortex straight through the earth, and that's the wormhole. And everything else is sort of just a mirror reflection of that, if that makes sense in some way. Yeah. See how this turns out. I'm just using all the colors. I was going to do it by, number, but I don't know what this is going to look like at all. Just kind of like putting color down. It's kind of fun. Yeah, so it does kind of become this sort of, when you go that far into yourself, introspectively speaking, like how everything really does become, if you really are doing this, like everything really does become some sort of reflection of everything else, where you can see how everything is related. Maybe you go so far into yourself, you become masses in a way. I don't know how to explain exactly, but the chariot can just be a car driving by, hearing cars, transits, a win, a victory, success, going somewhere, things like that. Some sort of flight, travel, it's almost like a mental battle in a way. What's next is the High Priestess. So that's why I think of the Magdalena asteroid now. And secrets, somewhat coming to light. Just put this mysteries behind the veil. I can't find it now. Yeah, mysteries behind the veil. The other side. I think space-time fabric, and she's weaving it. all the little diamonds. Oh, this is the little guy I showed in the last video that I have a little on my desk here. Anyways, important probably to anyone else. So there's like the mysteries of life, but it's also like, you know, the other side. Holding a little bit back, being able to see psychic vision, psychic gifts, having the knowledge of esoteric type things. Someone who has a little bit of mystery to them. Maybe you're not quite sure how to take them or what they're all about, because just as soon as you think you've gotten them figured out, something else comes out, or something else confounds you, and you're just like, thought I had them figured out. And we can never figure out anyone totally. But it's also number 2 in the Major Arcana. And it's kind of like working with like charcoal. It just looks like a mess. But I love like these kinds of things. They're just totally squiggles and lines and things like that. And what was I saying? I think this is supposed to mean like be symbolic for like, well, the crescent moon again, like paralleling that, but also like kind of looks like ovaries or something. But what I was going to say originally was like a telephone shape. Now everything is just, actually this is what one of the videos in the supplementary playlist reminds me of. Did I put it in? I don't know if I put it, I think I did. We were talking about this and how they had a past, I'm not going to get it right because I watched it like, half watched it like briefly, but this is the pattern that they made. It's overlapping, and this is the strongest, like, maybe you watched it and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so slowly figure out like the best way to do this. Maybe I'll get used to talking and drawing. But like, yeah, this is how you would do like render practice and things like that for your illustrations. And I'd end up with like sheets and sheets of just these random, you know, markings and things like that. So I thought they were really beautiful. And from far away, they always end up looking like something else, too. Little random strokes. My hands are going to be completely messy, fun. Right? Next is temperance. Yeah, some sort of Major Arcana kick here. So this is art. and conjunction and just elements coming together and blending opposites, blending together, two opposing ways of looking at something, reconciling differences. It's also temperance, balance, finding a good balance, good flow, mental, artistic, or otherwise. Just balance, temperance. Just being baking are like two sides of yourself. Okay. Reach. Oh my god. Trying not to die. Trying to grab some markers too. So you can layer markers, pencils, and anyone who's in fashion would know that, but maybe you're thinking about going into fashion, art, illustration, design, and I'd say don't do it. No, these are some good tips that render practice how to draw different types of fabrics and how to get the right effects, make something look like silk, or just whatever you're trying to make. Let's try. And just see how different things layer. You can get different effects. And no, there's like it's a very balanced card. It's about achieving balance and finding balance like within yourself somehow. All these things that sound so easy, and you're like, yeah, just find some balance in yourself. But really, I think it has more to do with art and maybe being divinely inspired. It's like there's has the same sort of crescent moons at the top, like the High Priestess. So this shape is maybe interesting to incorporate. And it's blue, lots of blues and greens so far, a little bit of red. You can see how different colors look next to each other. I feel like anyone who doesn't know, what, I don't know, probably think, let's see, what else? What other colors? So, interesting news today, I want to say. Um, yeah, so. And a little bit. I feel like she's just, I feel like this is what I look like right now, just like in the middle of like working, and you're probably like, why am I watching this? Let's see, what else can I say about this card? It's number 14, reduced down to 5, so I always feel like it's like, also the middle of the month, like, time-wise, and, it's about grace and having, like, modesty, too, I think. Making two things go together. It was upright, but if it was reversed, it'd be kind of like, maybe you're trying to force two things together that don't go together, kind of thing. So, let's see. Again, more of this kind of green color. So, this is, I didn't even tell you what the card is. This is Venus and Aries, number 4, 4 of Wands, fusion, kind of similar to Temperance, binding two things together, finding the harmony, finding the correct mixture. And here's the wheel and birds and rams and maybe like preschooler. Right here. Yeah, this is interesting. Just like growing it. And some orange. Yeah, I don't think this is my best work, but that's all right. Next, some more orange. We have like a good kind of, movement here from, I feel like it's kind of like a runway lineup. I feel like I make everything into fashion. Don't even, whatever. Blue, a little bit of red introduced to here. This came up in the last one, so 10 of Cups. Maybe this is where I end. 29 minutes. This is happy ending. Something. The sun's underneath that, so again, it just keeps going. Good, like, transitions. And seeing the entire spectrum and shining a light and making something, bring something to light, shining light on something out of the darkness. Just kind of masterpiece. Oh my god. No pressure, right? You know? Maybe I'll just do one more. I kind of feel like keep going. I like doing blind contours as like 2-minute scribbles. People like outside fashion shows and things like that, where you don't look at the paper and you kind of just draw. Any of you who have kids out there will probably think this looks like what they make. Just like the mixing of colors, you know. The entire spectrum. What's visible to the human eye, red, green, and blue. And that's funny because underneath is that, the Nine of Pentacles card. Fun. Ta-da! I don't know, I feel like you would see this in someone's like a very expensive piece of art, you know, of like, oh, it's kind of fun. Let's see. So what I was gonna do is this. See this? Oops, I have a knot in it. Because I was wearing it as an earring. I don't know if it really makes a difference. I think I just dropped the earring part. Anyways, so what you do is keep it really straight. Try to keep this in frame. Usually I put my elbow on the table so you don't move it, but I think you can kind of see. And you focus. And you ask a question. I've already figured out that, because each one's kind of different, you can say, like, show me yes, show me no, and some will, like, go spin right, some will go in a circle, just depending. So I'll show you that. Show me yes. Slight clockwise, more so forward though. Yes. Yeah, just forward. Okay, stop. Your arm gets tired. And show me no. Show me no. Yeah, right to left. See if I put my, it doesn't, you can't see the whole thing, so. All right, I want my painting or my scribbles in there. Actually gonna like it from far away. Okay, so my hand's covering it anyway. Let's see. Do you want to know? Think of like a yes no answer. I'm really tired. Yeah, so this is best with yes or no answers, or like to see how much something is, because if it's a really strong yes, it'll swing very fast. So think of a question. Because yes, you can, I think, I don't know, electromagnetic field, things like that. But you can also ask your spirit guides to move it too. So let's see. Can't think of a question right now. Let's see. I'll do something simple just to show you. Is my hair blonde? Is my natural hair color blonde? Let's see. There's so many questions. I can't think of one right now. Is my name Caitlin? It's a strong yes. Um, something that might come. I don't know if it. I don't know how far it predicts out. If it's more like of a current like yes no sort of thing. Yeah, you should like send me your questions and or comment below with questions, and maybe I'll do an entire video where I just ask questions. You can like make up names or something if you don't want like me to use your real name. No one comments, so don't worry. I don't expect you to, but it'd be really great if you did. Let's see what else. Can I speak to the other side? Okay. Am I related to Marie Antoinette? It's a pretty strong yes. Um, I guess going along with the theme that we've talked about, the rose line and Holy Grail and things like that. Is that real? Is there a holy bloodline? It's going crazy. Just to show you that it does go in a different direction. Let's ask a no question. That's like a clear-cut no. Can't think of something that like relates to everyone right now. Like a big question like that. Is the sky purple? That could also have something to do with your perception. I don't know. Okay. Do we live on Earth? That's a yes question. What's a no question? Something we know to be no. So So you can see I'm 5'6". Am I 6 foot tall? There you go. Really hard not to move it. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. I mean, if you want personal questions answered, I can make a video and like email it to you. And things that maybe not everyone needs to know, or let's see though. My goal is to be the modern day Da Vinci. And no matter what anyone says, I don't know if it's even like possible for anyone to be. So I'm not saying like I am, but things to work towards. I don't think there has been anyone that would be or could be or should be considered modern day Da Vinci since perhaps Albert Einstein, but he wasn't even so much in art. You have to be more than just a yeah. Am I or will I be? That's nice of the other side. Yes. Pretty strong, yes, too. I mean, he didn't have formal education or training, so he came into everything. You have to be like an inventor, an artist, a scientist, a designer, craftsman, a painter, a observer of nature, an anthropologist, like all of it, And so I actually heard someone was like comparing like Beyonce to. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you have to be like, no offense to her, anyone, because I don't even think like that's probably correct for me, but like, yeah, it just doesn't compare. I'm sorry, but I don't think lemonade's going to be 500 years ahead of its time. Like just because someone's famous doesn't make them. There's so many talented people out there and so many amazing things that are being thought of, and I think sometimes we get so blindsided by fame and celebrity, and I just don't care about celebrity. Like, I don't care who you are. I'm sorry, it doesn't impress me. Like, I care if you have actual talent and you worked at it. Let's see. Does the person I like have feelings for me? Funny enough, I don't use this very often. I think this is like maybe the second time I've picked it up or an earring. So I don't know why I don't. I just maybe want more like imagery or something. Yeah, any sort of yes or no answer. Did Russia collude with the who? I don't know. Who to say? So you have to be specific to. By the way, I did say collude. Like collusion might come up in as the moon reversed, and I think they were talking about a specific person, but that's an earth sign, maybe a moon sign, so Pisces. But I think normally collusion would come up as like moon reversed and some sort of meeting card, like a Two of Cups or like a Hierophant, something like that. So again, that's why I was like confused as to why I had written that down. Let's see what else. Will the GOP tax plan be passed? If that's what it's called, yeah. I don't know anything about taxes, so I shouldn't even I have no opinion. But, and I try to only, I don't know how to explain, but I have any sort of knowledge of it. Let's see what it says. Will it be passed? Looks like a yes, but it's wavering. I think it's a yes. It's a pretty clear yes now. Yeah, it's a pretty strong yes. It's gonna pass. The minute I got this home, I dropped it and broke the tip of it, so I hope that doesn't have any effect on it. But, let's see. Anything else? Is there more to the story as to why Flynn lied to the FBI? Does it go deeper than that? It's a big reason, big why. Yes. You can see I'm trying to hold still. This is actually a good arm because I used to play violin, so you have to be very good with your bow and like very able to hold it steady and control your arms. So let's see. Anything else? Hey, Peanut. Ask a question. Anything else? That is the Knight of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. And now I think of this as like, because going along with that theme of like Jesus' descendant, whoever, went to Egypt, is what they said, and then to France. So that's how I guess it would tie in with like all the other theories I have. Like Mona Lisa was part of the descendants, and the somehow related to like Marie Antoinette and Merchant and things like that. And coming from Egypt. Do I my descendant? Going kind of counterclockwise. Forward, straight. Is it a cover up? I don't know why people would have a problem with that, even if it was like, isn't the whole point of Jesus' his role here on earth to like experience every human emotion, every human trial, tribulation? But I assume that that also includes the good times too, and love and marriage and family, you know, so that you can understand the entire spectrum of the human experience, you know, and that being qualifying, I guess, for as a sacrifice. That's the whole basis for his crucifixion. So, like, I don't know why it's so like it would take anything away from his like divinity or anything like that. You know, that was the point of him to become man. But I just don't get people's like so stick up their butt about things like that. Like, because I don't think it has. Yeah, again, I think it only enhances his story in a way, and you would have to experience every human emotion. I mean, that was the point of, like I keep saying, like that was the point of him coming to Earth as being living sacrament, and yeah, to fully experience all of it, so that you know could take our place and dying for us and things like that. If you believe in Jesus, if not, like even still, like who cares? But it just makes sense that you experience the entire human spectrum, life spectrum, emotional spectrum. And God's for marriage, so I don't see what the, you know, it seems silly to me that it would have to, you know, but I understand that people have like their traditions and stuff, but again, it's like kind of freeing yourself of whatever the right answer is. It's freeing yourself of those sort of, you know, not being a slave to your associations of the things that you were taught that you don't really know, you know. That just seems silly to me. Like, you weren't there at the councils that decide when it went into the Bible. You weren't there at the crucifixion. You weren't there. You know what I mean? Like, it just goes on and on. The list goes on and on. That so yeah, you can have faith and believe certain things, but you also have to know why you believe something. I don't think there's a reason to believe anything unless you've had some sort of experience where you know a certain thing to be true, where it's some sort of, otherwise it's just tradition. You're just like dotting your I's, crossing your T's. There's something to be said about traditions, definitely. And I love tradition. I'm not like saying anything against it. I'm just saying that like it's not a reason to start wars and have religion debates and all these things. You know what I mean? Like, again, to each their own. But you know, like I'm not hurting anyone by believing that. Even if I do, you know, I don't know because I wasn't there. Even if I lean more towards that way, like, oh, that makes more sense because, you know, pairs, everything was in pairs anyways. Like, you know, it's people that want to think of it, God as only singular, that would have probably a problem with that. But as we've shown here, everything is connected and everyone is connected, and we're all a reflection of God, so what doesn't really matter anyways? Like, yeah, but either way, I just don't think that I just think it's important to come to your own conclusions, or at least experience something for yourself. You know it to be true, like some sort of religious experience or something. again, otherwise you're just like, going to youth group and clapping your hands and like, and singing the songs that like, millions of people sing around the country and sing with any other religion, like just like brain dead. People don't think for themselves, and I feel like it's because if you ask questions, a whole can of worms be open. But maybe that's good. We aren't here to be zombies. We're here to understand, and if you believe in religion, the heart and mind of God, the universe, the higher higher forces of love, of that bring us all together. And I've just had too many amazing experiences to think that there isn't something, there isn't God. Because it's just way too apparent to me, and that there's just other things at work in our lives. And I turn this into a philosophical, religious discussion, but it doesn't matter, Why not be able to talk about things without having to come to some sort of conclusion? So I was like terrible at debate class, like, 'cause I'm just like, you can believe that and I'll believe this, and like that's fine with me, because I don't need to convince you my opinion's better than yours, and vice versa. Like, just fun things to experiment with, and I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day, week, whenever you see this.